Hi everyone. Since I didn't manage to get a wrap out earlier this week due to still not feeling too well, this one's going to be a little bit longer. So I've put some headings in if you're reading it, or obviously not if you're watching the video, to highlight the main sections. Got a number of things to talk about. This week's topic introduced some complications with liabilities and basically addressed some reporting strategies that people have. And sometimes these reporting strategies involve trying to hide liabilities. So if you follow through with managerial incentives, you will understand why there are rules that require disclosures of things that perhaps don't merit recognition as liabilities because they don't satisfy the recognition criteria. That's where contingent liabilities come from. So I talked about provisions versus contingent liabilities and then finished up talking about share-based payments. And the reason it belongs there is sometimes share-based payments involve payment of cash, in which case they are certainly a liability. Okay, so that's where we've been. Given where we are in the semester, it's probably worthwhile reminding you where you can find help. We're 13 days away from the mid-sem exam. So if you're after some help, here are places you could go. Obviously UTS Online first. The discussion boards have been relatively quiet, although I'm seeing a few more questions picking up there. Now obviously they're quiet because you're working through the material and the solutions are all making sense, although I have had some questions in the drop-ins and we've been getting some questions in the tutorials as well. So if you do have need to ask us questions, please put a post up on UTS Online. I'm going to be checking it daily, well maybe not so much on the weekends, but I'll do my best from here to the mid-sem. If you do post a question, please make sure that you post it in the most relevant forum, and where possible add in as much information about the question that you're asking and the question you've attempted. So at least tell us where it comes from. And it would be good if you could tell us what answers you've got so far. So rather than discussing things in general, I can zoom in on exactly what your problem is. The drop-in classes are still running. So this week we're still going to have the usual drop-ins and the room details. Look, I remember them by now. C244 at 1 PM on Thursday and D114 at 5 PM on Thursday. And both those rooms are in Building 5 down here at Haymarket. Those from now on until the end of semester are going to be free form, so I don't have any structure for them. It's pleasing to see that numbers have got up a little bit in drop-ins, so I can see that those are useful, but there aren't so many people that you can't get your question answered. In particular, the 5 PM one doesn't have that many people, so you're virtually guaranteed to get some one-on-one time. But of course, remember, I've still got consultations on Tuesday, so if you do want one-on-one consults, that's when you come and see me. I'm not sure that I've made the point clearly enough so far, so let me just reiterate that in addition to the usual drop-ins on Thursday, this coming week I will be running additional drop-in classes, pre-exam drop-ins, on Friday. Both are on Friday the 12th of April. The first one's between 1 and 3, and that's in Building 5 again, room C129. The second is between 4 and 6 PM, also in Building 5 in D219. Okay, again, they're free form. I'm there to answer whatever questions you might have, work through whatever problems you've got. Don't forget UPass as well. The UPass leaders did extremely well in ASR when they went through, and they're a great source of additional assistance. Also, don't forget, you've probably been looking at them, but don't forget the screencasts are up. The multimedia guides, if you like, the screencasts are up on in the screencast folder under course documents. Also, I put up about a week ago the past exams for the last few semesters together with solutions. So have a look at those. That'll give you a feeling for the sort of exams that we set in this subject. Now, I guess the next thing is to actually go on to the mid-sem exam. I'm going to talk about the structure of the mid-sem in the class this week. So if you don't make it, please make sure you listen to the recording. A few other quick comments about the exam. If something happens between now and the exam, and it means you're going to be inconvenienced by the exam, or you might possibly miss it, then please get in touch with me via email to let me know. This is in case you need any advice about what you should do. If you do end up sitting the exam and are sick, please fill out an application for special consideration at www.sau.uts.edu.au. If you end up missing the exam, you will need to fill out an application for a special exam at the same website. Okay, please note actually, I think if you need a special exam, that's due to a scheduling difficulty. So you should actually talk to them about that before the exam. If you miss out on it, then talk to student services. They'll tell you exactly if you've got some problems with that. Okay, if you are sick and you do need to lodge a special consideration, please make sure you've got to lodge them, I think, by about 2 days after the exam. So the exam's on a Thursday, so I think you should lodge it either that day or the Friday. For longer term planning, what we're going to try to do is get the mid-semester exams back to you in the first tutorial back, so that's the week after the break week, week 9, and I'll discuss the overall results in the first lecture back. Now, onto the assignments. You've noticed that I haven't managed to get Essay 1 back to all of you. Much of the marking has been done, but there's been difficulty with some of it, so hopefully we will have the assignments back to you in next week's tutorials. I really do want to get them back to you before the mid-sem, and I do apologise for the delay. Once I have all those results, I will put the results up, so if they don't go up on the weekend, they'll go up early next week. That's your marks for the essay. But those of you whose ones were marked, you would have got them back in tutorials already. Okay, part 2 of the assignment, or the second essay if you like, should be started in the first week back. I will put it up before you come back. I don't want to put it up now because I do actually want you to have a break during the break week. So it will go up at some stage over the break. Lecture recordings for this week are up, together with lecture slides for next week. Okay, so everything's ready to rock and roll for next week. All that leaves me to say is see you all next week. We're going to be looking into the next topic with liabilities. That's going to be employee benefits. And in particular, we'll be focusing on those ones where there is some difficulty in measurement, where there are some estimates that we make that are quite subjective, but are necessary in order to record these things. So primarily we'll be talking about long service leave, we'll be talking about shorter leaves, annual leave, sick leave as well, and we'll be talking about pensions, or as we call them in Australia, superannuation. Alright, so I hope you have a good weekend, if you're watching this before the weekend, and I'll see you in class next week.